1838, I, Frederick Douglass, by train, by stagecoach, by boat across the Susquehanna River, escaped from slavery. I wound up in New York City, where men approached me who knew of my arrival ticket. We're sorry, you can't stop here. There's slave catchers all over. They'll get you and take you back. Keep running, keep running. I believed them to have been Quakers. I didn't stop running until I got to New Bedford, Massachusetts, a wealthy community, wealthy town. You see, New Bedford had people who were building ships, and they were selling oil from the whales, and many of them were abolitionists, people who did not like slavery and fought against slavery. I remember going to one of their meetings on Nantucket Island, such as this is now. They wanted the ocean without the awful roar of its many waters. I knew the struggle might be a moral one. I knew it might be a physical one. I knew it might be both moral and physical, but I knew there had to be a struggle. For power concedes to nothing without a demand. It never had, and it never would. We had to demand our freedom. And then he came. Born a dirt poor farm boy in Kentucky. Man of unblemished character. He was a lawyer in one state. He said slavery was wrong and that it was a moral issue. Does anybody know who that man was? Abraham Lincoln. Very good. Who said that? All right. Well, Abraham Lincoln ran for the presidency of the United States. And he won. I supported him. When he won, there were loud cries of secession and rebellion from the southern states. The 4 million slave-holding southern states. You see, Abraham Lincoln did not like slavery. Therefore, they did not like Abraham Lincoln. They decided to take their argument from the halls of diplomacy to the field of battle. And I had long said that slavery would only end in the sea of blood. And when the first cannonball shattered the walls of Fort Sumter, I, Frederick Douglass, said, this war would not be fought in Charlie by white men. For a war undertaken and brazenly carried out for the perpetual enslavement of black men, logically and loudly called for the colored man to help suppress it. The generals, when the North was reeling on its heels, facing defeat, the generals were pleading for men, more men. We need men. And I said, why would you fight the rebels with one hand tied behind your back? Your strong black hand. I said, for once, let the black man get up on his person of brass letters U.S. Let him get an eagle on his button, a musket on his shoulder, and bullets in his pocket. And there will be no power on earth that can deny he's earned the right to citizenship in the United States of America. They designated me a recruiter for these men. And I bellowed to them, men of color to arms. This is your golden opportunity. Let me tell you, they came through the fields, through the woods, over hills and over mountains, through the swamps, They came. They enlisted because they were tired of the women being abused. They were tired of being beaten, treated like beasts as I was. Tired of their little babies being snatched out of their mama's arms as I was. They came, they enlisted, and they fought gallantly. Among them were men who were here. The very grounds you are walking today, the Louisiana Native Guards were part of them. Corps d'Afrique. There were 200,000 who stepped forward. 180 in the Army, 180,000 and 20,000 in the Navy. They fought gallantly. When the war ended, the North was victorious and the South, with all of its generals, was defeated. Never to rise again. Of that 200,000, 40,000 of them died. Never take for granted the freedom that you have today. The price that was paid for that freedom. Young people, take lessons from this war. I became quite famous. I had authored books, edited newspapers. People know what education did for Frederick Douglass and what it can do for you.